Hello, Blood Bowl coaches. I'm Henry Snotson, and you're watching Tell Us Snot. Welcome to the semifinals of Snot League Season 7. We are officially in the playoffs. Only the best of the best remain. Who will claim ultimate glory, and who will fall just short of the grand final? But before we dive into the action, a quick reminder. Recruitment for Season 8 is officially open. If you want to be part of the next chapter of Snot League, be sure to check the registration links in the episode description. Joseph Moranian's squad entered the semifinals in excellent form, but it seemed their troglodyte enforcers were slightly too distracted by the lush jungle environment of the Supreme's home stadium. While their giant frames helped clog up the field, their focus was questionable at best. Despite this, the Kobolds proved to be the much tougher nut to crack, controlling the pace of the game. In a shocking turn of events, it was actually the Supremes who suffered more significant injuries, losing 2 key gorillas early on. But the real disaster struck when Brandon, the undisputed star of the Supremes, was taken down. With their centerpiece gone, the Jungle Warriors struggled to maintain their footing. Their last hope rested on Marlon McRun, who was launched into the crowd in a desperate play. Luckily, the local fans intervened, tossing the ball back onto the field and into the hands of a Supreme's orangutan. However, fate had other plans. A botched pass attempt to a gorilla teammate allowed the Kobolds to swarm in, reclaim possession, and seal their victory. With that, Moranian and his team move on to the finals, while GKS Shambani Supremes bid farewell to the tournament, and most likely sprint straight into much-needed rehab. But in the interview, the Supremes players are quite disappointed that they do not have chance to meet again with the Feywind Sparkles. I wonder why? The Iron Wolves. After their last unfortunate encounter with Witchy and We Know It, or rather their absence, they were hoping for a proper meeting this time. And Feywind Sparkles? They showed up all right, just not in the way the Kurgan brutes were expecting. Right from the get-go, the Sparkles played hard to get, dodging, weaving, and generally treating any form of physical contact like an absolute disgrace. And let's talk about their reinforcement for this match. A tiny, unassuming squirrel. Was it a mascot? A secret weapon? A cunning distraction? We may never know. The wolves pushed forward, trying to corner their elusive prey, but the Aijin ladies danced just out of reach. At one point, they even seemed outright disgusted by the idea of attacking one of the more peculiar Kurgan players. Look, we're not asking questions. With the score against them, the Wolves made a last-ditch effort to equalize before halftime, only for a harpy to swoop in and literally snatch their hopes away. And then there was the referee. Now, I don't want to make any accusations here, but let's just say he really enjoyed restarting play, especially when it meant getting to pat one of the Sparkles on the way. Scandalous. But even with that kind of officiating, the Iron Wolves just couldn't keep up. The Aijin were simply too fast, too agile, and too good at keeping their distance. Desperation set in, and the Wolves attempted a Hail Mary pass that had about as much chance of succeeding as a goblin juggling chainsaws. The ball hit the ground, Sparkless quickly score, and the final whistle blew, and instead of a narrow 0-1 loss, the scoreboard flashed 0-2. Well, they had to take the risk. But it seems Zinch wasn't dealing them any favors today. And with that, Feywind Sparkles move on to the next round, where they'll face Joseph Moranian and his intergalactic kobolds. Meanwhile, how's the other side of the bracket looking? Let's find out. Oh boy, things did not go well for deep-sea lurkers in their match against Half of Nothing. The Nauticans thought pressing the elves early would be a solid strategy. But surprise, surprise, it triggered their trap card. And when elves tap into their deeply suppressed rage, well, let's just say some therapy might be in order. As the elves pushed forward, the biggest victim of their newfound brutality was Cake the Crab, who found himself on the wrong end of a monstrous foul. The elf even took a running start. Despite Lurker's protests, the half-of-nothing coach worked his silver tongue, and the referee, clearly charmed, let the foul slide. Seeing this, the Nauticans figured, all right, two can play that game, and started dishing out their own dirty tricks. The game quickly devolved into an absolute slugfest. But the elves' skill and speed started to tilt the balance in their favor. By the second half, Lurkers could do little more than stand back and watch the elves put on a clinic. Front row seats to an elven masterclass, if not for the constant punches landing on them. Still, they fought until the bitter end, even attempting a last-minute throw teammate play, only for their poor, unfortunate flyer to make a beautiful, spinning, face-first landing into the pitch. So, deep-sea Lurkers bow out of the tournament with a fantastic run, even if they finish at the exact same stage as in Season 3. And now, only one match remains. Who will face the Half-Elves in the next round? Let's find out! All right, buckle up! The last quarterfinal threw the Chaos Imps of Telesnoobies smack into the unmovable wall of grim gemstones, and oh boy, it was a clash of the absurd. The Group A champs rolled in like they owned the place, dragging every toy in their arsenal, including the legend himself, Helmut Wolf. Because why settle for one chainsaw when you can have two? But the gemstones, these earth elementals didn't even blink. Toys? What toys? They grumbled, shrugging off the imps' antics like a boulder ignores a breeze. While the Telesnoobies flailed with their pint-sized paws. Seriously, these guys are barely taller than the ball. The gemstones just plowed forward, squashing lesser imps like bugs on a windshield. The imps couldn't get a grip on the pigskin to save their lives, but the gemstones, they snatched it mid-drive, looking ready to rumble, until a swarm of coordinated devil spawn tackled their vibe right into the dirt. Desperate, the Telesnoobies yeeted their ball carrier over the line. Picture this: a glorious leap, a perfect arc, and a faceplant so epic it'd make Nuffle cry laughing. Not the plan, folks. Second half, pure madness. The imps doubled down with their arsenal, but frustration kicked in. Their bomb throwers started blowing up their own team more than the enemy. Paranoia set in, imps eyeing each other like, you gonna stab me with that chainsaw, bro? Meanwhile, the gemstones quietly snagged the ball again. Because rocks don't care about your drama. Cue the chaos. Chainsaws revving, fire spitting, players dropping like flies, and still no score. This mess dragged into overtime? Sort of. The cleaning crew kicked both teams off the pitch mid-brawl. Sorry, lads, gotta mop up this blood. Days later, they're back on a shiny new field. Telesnoobies roll out 3 chainsaw maniacs. Ref must have been napping. And the gemstones just sigh, this is fine, and lumber into position. But nobody rested during the break, so it's second half chaos redux. Highlight of the day? Ruby, the fire elemental, pulling off a save so Clutchy bulldozed through the imps like a lava flow to stop a touchdown. Epic! Still tied, it's penalty shootout time. And guess what? Tiny imps versus a ball. Disaster. Final tally. 1-4 in penalties, and the Grim Gemstones punch their ticket to the semifinals, setting up a rematch with half of nothing. But here's the kicker. As the Gemstones fans roared, the Telesnoobies coach jumped in, screaming, "At last, I'm free!" Wait, what? Looks like someone just broke a devil's curse. Or maybe he's just sick of babysitting those chainsaw gremlins. Either way, Telesnoobies are off. And the coach is looking for a new, fresh adventure with more serious team. And that's the semi-finals, you glorious lunatics. Intergalactic kobolds are squaring off with Feywind Sparkles. Results locked till next episode, so chew on that cliffhanger. Then, Grim Gemstones face half of nothing in a rematch. Last time was a draw, but now it's kill or be killed. Rocks versus Rage. Who's coming out on top? I'm stoked you're here for it. Don't sleep on Season 8 recruitment. Links below. Catch you next time for the bloodbath. Stay wild, stay bloody. Ciao.